Hi, I'm Paris, and I'm headed back tomorrow for my second chemo infusion. I'm having Taxotere over 4.5 months. Now, before going to my first infusion, I had read that the side effects, the long list of side effects to the chemo, one of which you can help to prevent, and it's a bad one, it's neuropathy, where you get pins and needles or numbness feeling in your fingertips and in your toes. And how can you help to prevent this? By keeping your fingers and toes cold while you're receiving the infusion of chemo. So I asked for ice packs on my first visit there, and I found they have these cold packs, but I assumed you kind of put your fingers into them, but my chemo nurse told me no. What you're trying to do, you'll want to lay them on the back of your hands, the back of your feet, to slow the circulation to your fingertips and to your toes. So that was quite a balancing act for the hour and a half or so while I was receiving the transfusion, trying to keep these things balanced on my hands and not sliding off my feet. If you put them directly on your feet, they're going to be cold. You want to have a little bit of cloth material between, because if they're so cold that it hurts, you're more likely to not want to keep them on. So after that experience, I went online looking for chemo mitts and chemo slippers, and I found some, which I will be trying out tomorrow. So these are cold therapy gloves from High Fine Care, and these are reusable cold slippers from Rapid Relief. The mitts go for about $25, the slippers for about $20. They include the cloth material and the ice packs, and the cloth material, from the reviews I read, is supposed to be thick enough in both of these that it's not painful to have the ice packs on your hands and feet, but your hands and feet will get plenty cold, and it will have the effect of slowing the circulation, which is what you're trying for. You can find out more about both these products at the links down below this video. Let's start with the mitts and check them out. Now, I thought gloves might be a good idea, but I guess it's hard to get the ice pack to do each finger individually, so they make them into mitts. And I'm not sure I'll be able to use my phone or my Kindle while I'm there with these on. Well, they've wrapped the mitts in advertising, but they've included a nice note. It says, "Good luck, hope everything goes well for you." So this is what comes in the box. These are a soft material, as you can see, just the thumb, the fingers all together. A little worried about whether they would fit me, but no, mitts are pretty general size. They'll fit, my hands aren't especially large, but I think these would fit most people. You got left hand, right hand, and then they include the freezer packs. Not much in the thumb part. I notice it seems like you gotta squeeze some in there to make sure you get that part frozen too. There we go. Okay. And according to the instructions on the box, these should go into the freezer about 12 hours before you're going to need them, so they can get as cold as possible. In the back and the front of the cloth mitt, there's an opening. That's where you're going to slide one of the cold packs, and then on the other side you can put a cold pack. Now, rather than do that, now if you want your whole hand cold with the cold on the front and the back, but that's the way to go. But what I'm going to do, since they send 4 of these for the top and bottom of each hand, I just want it on the back of my hand, so I'm going to freeze them all and then put it maybe in a lunchbox, one of those with the aluminum to keep things cold. I'll keep the other 2 because I anticipate this will keep my hands cold for half hour, 40 minutes or so. When it warms up, then I can take these out of the cold keeping lunchbox, slip them in for another half hour, 40 minutes of cold hands. I don't know if the cold packs stiffen up when you put them in the freezer. I'm guessing they might some. Make it a little trickier to get them in here, but as they are now very flexible, let's see how hard they are to get in here. And how am I going to get that thumb part into the thumb there? Fold the pack up, slide it in, and we'll figure out something for the thumb. Yeah, it didn't go in there on its own. There, okay. Got the thumb. I can still feel some blue stuff in there. And so it's on the back. I slide my hand into the glove. Yeah, that should work. I've got the cold pack right here over the back of my fingers, well, over the back of my hand, as well as over the back of my thumb. That's what I want. And when the cold runs out tomorrow, should be fairly easy. Squeeze it up a little, pull it right out, take my still cold one and slide it in. That looks like it'll work. I'll record a little tomorrow when I'm actually receiving my chemo infusion and let you know how that's going. Now let's take a look at the slippers. So with this, there aren't replaceable cold packs. The cold pack, I'm sure, is similar to that with the blue stuff. I can feel one here in the top, and then one here along the bottom. It's whichever way you put it, the blue stuff all tends to run the other way. So I guess you'd want to make sure you lie it flat in the freezer so you don't end up with all the cold stuff at one end. Let me see how it fits on my foot. Now I was a little hesitant when I put them on over there in the chair to walk over here to try them out, but I did put my full weight on them. My concern, of course, is that the bottom cold pack might just burst from my weight on it, but I was able to stand on it. I'll do that again here. I don't know that it's advised to walk around in them, however. You put them on and just, let your feet sit at the end of the recliner. So, okay, I now have my weight on them. I can feel the stuff kind of slushing around underneath. It has not popped, but that doesn't mean this is a good idea. It's probably better to sit with your feet up with these cold packs on. I'm a size 10 men's shoe. You can see my heel is just the tiniest bit from the very back. So these cold slippers feel relatively sturdy. I could put my weight on them. They seem to be a fairly thick material. So you might be okay if you just need to stand briefly or readjust yourself in your seat and put your weight on them. But I would hesitate to wear these walking over to the restroom, which I always have to go at least once when getting the infusion. I think I would take these off and slip my shoes back on. These are slippers, after all, real easy to take on and off, then put them back on when I come back to my seat. I was thinking when I ordered these that you could remove the cold pack, so I was thinking I would just use the cold pack on top of the foot, not the one underneath. I'll just have to freeze them up and see how that feels. I better get slippers and the gloves in the freezer now, move the frozen vegetables around and make space for all this stuff, and I'll see you on infusion day tomorrow. So about 20 minutes in, the slipper is working well. It was a little stiff at first, but it's warmed up some. I am a little concerned that it may not last a full hour. I might need a second set of slippers. And the glove has been very good. Also kind of stiff at first, but it's holding up pretty well. Had some trouble getting the thumb in with some blue liquid in there to keep it cold, but it's definitely going to last at least half an hour, and since I have two, it should last me the whole time. And a week post-infusion, no numbness or tingling in the hands or feet. Thank goodness, still got 4 more infusions to go, but you can be sure I will be lugging these along to each of those. Now the mitts were great. Having the extra set of cold packs to put in to keep the cold going was good. The only thing I might have done differently is I might have brought a set of very thin cotton gloves to wear to put on my hands before putting them in these, because this material isn't quite as thick as I thought it was, and for the first 10 minutes it was almost painfully cold on my hands. The cold slippers, I did at the time wish they had the opening so I could slide another cold pack in halfway through. But in the end, my feet were plenty cold after an hour in these. I was wearing fairly thick merino wool socks, so that cold really got through. Find out more about these cold mitts and cold slippers at the links down below this video, whether it's for yourself or as a gift for a friend who's going to be going into chemo. I think it's a great idea to take charge, take control of as much as you can over what's going on with your life. And if you can reduce the side effects, definitely worth doing. And on that same note, I did one thing differently before my second chemo infusion that made a huge difference in reducing the side effects. It reduced the bad days by 1 whole day, and the days that were bad weren't nearly as bad. I did one thing differently, something I'd been reading up on and researching. There are actually clinical trials about it, and you can do it and put yourself in charge of reducing your side effects. Fasting for 1 day before having your infusion. I'm not a doctor, but if it's something you haven't heard about, someone hasn't suggested it to you, I would ask my doctor about it, because there are clinical trials right now to see if this ought to be a widespread thing, advising people to fast day or two. They're experimenting with it before their infusion. And I'll do a whole separate video about that. But it's great that there are things you can do to put yourself in charge of what's going on. I'll explain more about fasting and chemotherapy in another video, and I'll see you on the next review.
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for, we give honest reviews. parristx.